Hello there, my name's Jack, the snack that smiles back. Welcome to Mick. Today's video was all about relationship advice. As a young adult who's dated things, I have some experience and I'd like to share it. Now remember, if you enjoyed today's content or have a blast, like the video so you can help out the channel. But let's not dilly-dally any longer. It's time to sit back, relax, grab your favorite cup of tea and your best Spotify background music playlist, and let's get started with the stories. Our first story. I, 23 female, think my man, 25, is cheating. So, for some backstory, my boyfriend, 25 male, has wanted to become a Twitch streamer since he was 13. Well, he started taking it seriously earlier this year. Now, when you want to be an entertainer, there are consequences, such as people flirting with you or your significant other. I was aware of that. Now, onto the story. So, first offense. 19-year-old girl flirts with him. I hold it in till, in an argument, I let it out. He stops entertaining her while he streams. And I mean entertaining her. She now barely chats or show up. Second and most recent offense. I noticed one night he's talking about buying something for the bedroom. I pop into his stream and go, cool. Then I hear this girl's voice and I try to think logically and not overthink. Well, a few days later, I go to grab something from him and I noticed he's video chatting her on Discord. And he's talking to her now how he used to talk to me. Same tone and genuinely smiling. Let me tell you, this girl is stunning, like naturally gorgeous. But they also had another friend video chatting as well, but from then on, I knew I was uncomfortable as she became very common to appear in his streams. Then, last night, I'm at a friend's house drinking, and they're good people, so I knew I was in safe hands, and he never texts me when I'm with them. The message said, LMK when you're on your way home. I'm working out and I don't want you to see me. Both myself and my friend were sketched out, so I come home and find he had written the name on his whiteboard in our bedroom with a heart next to it. Her username. He had written it nicely too. I felt sick. And he decided to get intimate with me. But before that, he erased the heart. The stuff was amazing, but it felt different. He was doing things he normally wouldn't or hated doing. And it wasn't till I came home he erased the girl's username. Mind you, I am not involved with his streamer life. Like, he doesn't mention he has a girlfriend or act like he has one. I've been with him for 5 years. I don't expect to be always involved, but an occasional mention, is all I ask. He's always smiling at his phone and being very protective of it. Look, I just found my reptile dead today, especially with what I found Wednesday night on the whiteboard. I left my phone in the car while at the gas station and there was a long line today and he yelled at me, full on treating me like I did wrong and am annoying him. Now, with my reptile, he's ignoring me. What do you guys think is going on? I've attempted to talk to him only to be ignored. I apologize for the wonky everything. I've been an absolute mess. This is probably the last thing you want to hear, but I think your assumptions are correct. To a degree. It's nice that you were being supportive of him, at first, in regards to him wanting to pursue something that he was only ever thinking of doing at the age of 13. In terms of the evidence you've come across, yeah, that definitely comes across as some long-distance either flirting or just straight-up emotional cheating. I think anyone online who has a presence but doesn't reference or point out the fact they have a partner, especially when they are having interactions with people who clearly are showing that level of interest, that either they should communicate with their partner about the fact that, hey, let's not point out that we're a couple, or at least I'm not going to mention that I'm in a relationship because I know we can make some more monetizational benefit off it. And hey, call it scummy if you want, taking advantage of people's heart-throbbing feelings for a character who's online. But to do that's really on them, and if you're someone who pays for that kind of service towards someone and only to realize they are in a relationship, well, I mean, hey, you didn't exactly sign a contract saying that you were going to be that person's online partner. But back to you. Again, the fact he didn't really make this clear to anyone, or at least you didn't see evidence of him doing this, that's definitely a red flag. It is very likely that as he's dived into this new world, he has sort of forgotten about you. In a way, you're the old world. Now, I don't know what your relationship history is like on both ends, but maybe he's not exactly someone who knows how to break up with people. That, or considering you're living together and have been together for so long, he doesn't really know what to do about it. He'd only really be pursuing these other women, or at least with what he's done, if he felt like he was lacking something from you. Now, is that exactly something you should have to fix? Not really, if anything at all. And especially no if he hasn't even bothered to at least communicate it to you. Which, again, he likely doesn't seem like someone who knows how to confront about those kind of things, like something is lacking in a relationship that you desire and enjoy about. Which would likely explain why he's then just pursuing other people instead to get that fulfillment. Now, this can also be evidence of just a relationship that's sort of made its course. And conveniently, he's come across someone that's really re-sparked his flame. And although I am someone who encourages the idea that you shouldn't feel ashamed for no longer liking someone and suddenly liking someone else, but when you're sort of doing it behind that person's back and you at least haven't confronted that person about where you're feeling at the moment and, at least trying to resolve the situation and accept the fact that it's time for us to both move on, that makes you a scum. And I honestly hope this guy gets exposed for what he's doing to you, because he's clearly being so disrespectful. I say pack your bags, get out of there. Remember the fact that just because he is no longer finding interest in you, that doesn't mean you're no longer interesting or desirable to anyone. And go ahead and find that new stud who questions why the hell you're still single. Let's see what some of the comments have to say. He's a streamer now, lost in a sea of shiny thoughts. Kink was different because he was thinking of her. You might as well just peace out. It'll be less trouble in the long run. Though, for your future relationships, keeping score of someone's offenses and saving them for later is not a healthy relationship habit. When something hurts you, you think on it, then express it when you're cooled off. If they react terrible at that point, it's on them, and a red flag. Yeah, very true. It's definitely not a good idea to speak to someone about something that frustrates you while you're in that emotional state of still reacting to it. Of course, you also don't want to leave it to simmer. I find what's always helped me, both with friends in general as well, is just to look on their side of things and try and figure out where they're coming from that caused them to do or say what they did. In most cases, it's from complete ignorance and just not being aware of how that was going to affect you. And unless you are wasting your mental energy constantly being aware of them and their needs and all this kind of stuff above your own, then you really can't hate them for it. Let's recap. You've been with this dude for 5 years. He hasn't proposed, unless he has, and he's at minimum flirting inappropriately with other women. Where is this going? Doesn't seem to be with you. Life is too short, and you don't want to waste an okay 5 years like this. Time to have a serious talk about you and his intentions for the future. Seems like dude is using you for convenience and emotional companionship until he finds someone else. Having a girlfriend may hurt his potential online, and he doesn't want to lose you, so he's trying to have both. It's up to you whether or not you are going to tolerate that. At your age, I wouldn't recommend it. You're in your prime, and know how to work with a man and be in a relationship at a young age. Chances are good that a better man finds that appealing, if he doesn't straighten up and you can healthily move past him. When I say appealing, I mean appealing for a wife. I have about a decade on you, and I see all the women who settled for that for too long. Now they're back on the market in their 30s, but the men they want are either taken or don't want them because they waited too long. Don't become one of those women. I'm not saying leave immediately, necessarily, but if he doesn't straighten up and get some serious direction very soon, then I would. Hope this helps. People who love their significant others do not hide the fact that they have one. Like, I don't care if he's a streamer, influencer, actor, whatever, it does not give someone carte blanche to act like they're single for more likes or followers, or whatever he's looking for. Good luck taking that upon all the female streamers and OnlyFans accounts. Hoo-hoo! I saw someone else say that you shouldn't keep score of offenses and then blow up about it in a relationship. I agree with that 100%. Not healthy. But he definitely seems to be showing signs of cheating. Whether it's physical or emotional, neither are acceptable. I'm still hung up on her username written on a whiteboard. Why was this? Whether there was a heart next to it or not, that seems weird. And if he's hiding this part of his life from you, that's sketchy as frick. My boyfriend is a gamer, not into streaming, but I hear him constantly mentioning me and he tells me everything about his games, people he plays with, and the stuff they talk about because he enjoys it. It makes him happy and he wants to share that with me. I mean, not everyone has to be exactly like that, obviously, but hiding it and being defensive sounds like something is up. Not to mention, he texted you when you were out to let him know when you're coming back because he's working out and doesn't want you to see that. Has he ever said that to you before? Have you ever seen him work out before? Weird thing to hide. Our next story. Is it a red flag if my 23 female boyfriend, 22 male, doesn't put a girl's 25 female number in his phone? I know the title sounds odd, but hear me out. My boyfriend, 22 male, and I, 23 female, have been together for 7 months. Out of those 4.5 months, he got a new job and met some new people at his work. There's this one girl, 25-ish female, who he works with and she's married and has a kid. They exchanged numbers and Snapchats. They don't really snap much, but I don't know how often they text. I usually only see my boyfriend on the weekends, and the first time I noticed he got a text from her, I noticed he didn't put her number in his phone. I asked him why he hasn't saved it yet, and he said it's because they rarely text. That was 4.5 months ago. He got a text when I was next to him, and he goes, "Who's this?" and scrolls up a bit to see previous messages and goes, "Oh, it's insert her name here." And her number is still not saved in his phone. I asked him why, and he said that it's because he doesn't text her and that she texts him, and if he needs to message her for whatever reason, he'd just message her on Snapchat. But she has texted him a couple times when I've been at his house, and I saw in the messages it looked like she sent him a meme. He told me not to worry because I said it was odd that he still didn't save her number yet, especially someone you work with 4 times a week. To me, it seems kind of odd, or doesn't sit well with me. He has another co-worker in his phone who is also a girl and they don't really text. He's shown me his text before. He drives her home sometimes after work and that's the only reason they text. Something just seems off to me. Am I way overthinking this? Is this normal? I guess I just feel like maybe he's hiding who it is if it's not actually the co-worker he says it is. Which I feel awful for thinking that. I usually just put people's numbers in my phone, especially if I work with them because it's just easier to see who is texting me. A short bit ago, I mentioned how you can tell when some people are clearly just overreacting about a situation versus trying to minimize what is a real big situation and are afraid of seeming like they're overreacting. This right here is a great example of someone overreacting. I am a male. I, in fact, do this exact thing where I have texted plenty of people but almost never saved their numbers on my phone. From how she is describing this, it seems like she is suspicious that maybe he's purposely avoiding putting the number on the phone so as that she can't tell who he's talking to specifically. Now, I can see where she is coming from. I can understand how it can be perceived that way. But I am very confident, by the way he talks about her, at least by the way you've mentioned, that it's definitely nothing insidious. There is no way he's actually cheating on you. And definitely not showing interest in this other woman. You should be very careful how easily you are overthinking this scenario. You should also consider the fact that this other woman is a mother with kids and a partner as well. I mean, I don't know your boyfriend personally. I don't exactly know his past or his intentions in a relationship, but it definitely doesn't sound like some sort of person he'd want to have an affair with. There'd be just far too many parameters to take into account. I mean, it's not like she's just some single lady living in her own place that he can go ahead and visit whenever you're not around. Besides, they're rarely texting, and you even mentioned that he actually shows his conversations on his phone to you. Like, no guy, who especially rarely talks to girls like this guy seems to, would ever show their partner his phone if he was actually being deceitful. So, yeah, I think you're definitely overthinking this. You can relax. He's not doing anything behind your back. Let's see if anyone agrees with me, though. It's hard to say, but to me it either sounds like a lazy thing, or that he doesn't actually like her and feels like if he has her name in the phone, it's like saying she's his friend. I would say you should ask him if he likes working with her or if he thinks she could be a friend. Try not to do this in a way that you insinuate they're sleeping together, but as though you have a genuine interest in his co-workers. I'd even say just ask about all of his co-workers and what he thinks of them. At the least, it will help you learn more about his work week and who he enjoys. Your partners. Being active in understanding his friends' dynamics will help you feel closer and less worried about him having ill intent.
Thank you. I will do this.
No, it's weird that he talks to her on Snapchat where there's no record of the convo. Not sure what you can do about it though. Bruh, you're thinking too much into this. I have some really good friends whom I never bothered adding into my phone. Guys are actually kinda lonely, and choose our circles quite carefully. It's something so small, most guys don't give a damn. Hey, you! So it looks like you've made it to the end of today's video. So, if you're looking at my face, that means you liked the video, so why not prove it and let us all know by liking the video. It really helps the channel out, and I'd really like to one day be making quality content over quantity content, so if you'd like to help me out on that, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you can always be updated on the latest of our videos. I have a lot of fun sharing these stories with you, letting you know my opinions on them, and reading yours as well. I do read the comments. I don't always comment, but I read the comments. So if you have any feedback, or if there's anything you'd like to talk about, be sure to do so down below. But with that also said, it's the end of the video, which means you're done with me now, so I'm heartbroken, but I will never forget you. I'll see you next time. Bye!